Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, with our morning show and its third and final segment here for Thursday, March 27th. We're brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. My name is Grayson Bauman. Joining me now is Jody Heberling. She is the president of the Christian County Historical Society. First and foremost, Jody, how are you this morning?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you here today to talk a little bit about what's going on with the Christian County Historical Society. It sounds like some changes and repairs have been made, but the big thing that we want to make sure we talk about here to start things off, new hours. We got the summer months coming in. What can you tell me about some changes coming up?
We're excited. On April 1st, we go back to 3 days a week from 10 to 3. So Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, we're open up. If you want to come out and look around and bring back some old memories, we've got a lot of opportunities for that. So we've also made a lot of improvements and repairs. Last year, we were blessed with some additional funding, and we did some fundraisings ourselves that we were able to rebuild, repair our log house.
Okay.
It is a log house because it's 2 stories, not one.
Okay.
And we were excited to resurrect it because it had some real problems. So we talked to lots of experts, and they decided that we needed to cover it. So the county board helped us with that funding. And then we did some grassroots fundraising and stuff and came up with most of the money for repairing the log house, which was quite the pretty penny to take care of, but it looks wonderful. It's exciting to see how it came back.
Well, and I'm sure for you too, you look at a building, you look at a log house, not a cabin, it's 2 stories. You look at that log house and you go, man, I just would love to see it in better shape. And for that to have come to fruition, I'm sure is a great feeling for you.
I don't think we'll have to worry about it in our lifetimes. I mean, it's set. We repaired it, put in some new logs, put a cover over it. Like everybody said, should preserve it for years to come.
And then you've guaranteed that history stays around for that much longer.
Yes.
And so I can imagine for you that's like the biggest piece probably.
It's really exciting that we have such a community out there in the buildings we have that would tell the story of Abe Lincoln's life, because we have a log house that he could have lived in. We have the courthouse that he actually practiced in. We have a 1-room schoolhouse. We have the depot and stuff that was train related to that time, as well as the Morrison House, which is an 1850s era of home, which would have been the era when he was president. So you can kind of go through his life or touch the image of what his life might have been stepping through the years out there in one little place.
Yeah. And you're here in the land of Lincoln. So you got to really try to preserve some of that, or your state name that doesn't hold as much weight probably to it as well. You mentioned the Morrison House. What all is, and you mentioned all the things that are out there, but let's say I go to the site. I haven't been there before. And what are some of those additional things? You got the log house, you got a courthouse that he even practiced in, Morrison House. What else are we expecting?
Well, first thing, we need to get you out there so you know what you're talking about.
We do.
Okay. So the Morrison House is a 2-story old farmhouse that it was donated to us, and it started the museum and society because they gave us the ground and the house.
Okay.
And everything else has either been constructed there or moved in. So we've moved in the courthouse that Lincoln actually practiced in. It was the first courthouse here in the county. And it has been several places in the county before it landed with us. And it really is eerie when you go in there and start thinking about Lincoln stood in these same floors and these beams and stuff. This is the real thing.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. So then you go next door. The next building that I'll just go in order.
Yeah, no.
Is a 1-room schoolhouse. And it's great when the school tours come out and the kids have to understand that all 8 classes were in one room, and this kid helped that kid, or you shared the book, or you didn't have paper and pen to write on, you wrote on the slate. And there's paddles out there. That was in the era that you could get your rear end paddled for doing something you shouldn't do, and their mouths drop open. They can't believe the difference in times. And then the next building is a depot. It came from over at Awanico, and that's the last place it was at Awanico. And it's got the telegraph system in it, and it's just the chance to walk in, and this is the way the trains used to move. And it's got the little storeroom where stuff would have been stored to be put on the train to ship, and it's really a neat little building. Our next building is the Woodall building, and it houses most of our antique musics. We've got the various record players coming up through the years. They weren't always records. They were various tubes on the piano or whatever. And then it's got a lot of war memorabilia. And so that there's 2 floors of that. There's the regular floor and the basement. The basement houses lots of farm hand tools and things like that. And we have the original county jail cells down there. So there's just a wide variety that will really spark your interest if you come out. The log house that's on the corner, and the Pence building is full of, it's kind of our main office area. And then the Morrison house is a 3-bedroom house upstairs. And then there's the parlor and the sitting room, and there's a porch on it and a summer kitchen. And it just lets you walk back in time and see the old cast iron cooking stove and all the little details that go with it.
Well, 2 things. Yes, I do need to get out there and make sure I know what the heck we're talking about here. But 2, I love your passion for it, and so I can appreciate that. And so there's a lot going on with the site that I was not fully aware of. And so thank you for filling me in on all those things. In terms of some other small projects or some other things that might be coming up, are there any things that you want to highlight that the Christian County Historical Society is thinking about right now?
Well, we're thinking about where we go back to full hours of 3 days a week. We need to spit and polish things up. So we're having a cleanup day on Saturday, April the 5th. We'll be out there from 9 o'clock till probably 3 or 4 o'clock, depending on what we get done and who shows up to help. And we welcome youth organizations, anybody that has a love for history that would like to come out and rake leaves, pick up sticks, dust the sills of the buildings, sweep the floor. I mean, we've got various opportunities to volunteer and help preserve the history of our county.
You name it, it might just need done over there.
Correct. And your ability, everybody's abilities have limits to them. So we probably can find something for you to do, if it's even stuff envelopes for the next newsletter or something. We'd love to have you come out and volunteer, make some new friends, and get involved.
Jody, how do people get involved? Do they need to reach out to you and let you know they plan to, or are they able to just show up to the site?
They can just show up. If they got any questions, they can call out there. We've got a Facebook page. We've got a website. It's only checked about Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then I check it in between once in a while. So, it may be a week before we get back to you, but, we do get back to you, and the Facebook works real well, and there's emails, and the phone's still in the phone book. So reach out, there's an answer machine, and we'll get back to you.
Hey, I get it. If you're there Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, so, maybe a Wednesday phone call every once in a while or something like that. So be sure, if you're interested, the Facebook page, the website, the phone numbers, there's plenty of ways to get a hold of the Christian County Historical Society and bring some volunteer help to their cleanup day, Saturday, April 5th. We are speaking with Jody Heberling. She is the president of the Christian County Historical Society. We'll come back around. We'll talk a little bit more about some Earth Day deals and some other things going on with the Historical Society when we come back around. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM. WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM morning show here on your information station, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm joined by Jody Heberling, president of the Christian County Historical Society. We've been talking about new hours coming up for the summer, improvements and repairs being made, some projects going on, and we'd like to talk about another Earth Day coming up on April 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. Jody, what can you tell me about what we've got planned?
Well, we have got a pie auction planned, so we'll have some unique pies. We're expecting gooseberry and rhubarb, and we got blackberry and coconut cream, and we got all kinds of exciting pie flavors coming in. And so there'll be a pie auction at 2:00. We will be serving apple crisp as a dessert that day. We're not doing a meal because it's just too hard to get everything together. So we're going to try this. Just apple crisp will be our main fundraiser point of the Earth Day. We'll have lots of kids activities, and it's all free except for the apple crisp and things that you choose to buy. So bring your kids out and enjoy an afternoon at the museum and enjoy checking out our buildings and stuff, and that'll be great. I need to correct you on one thing that I messed up. I'm co-president. I do have a helper. Phil Blyler is my co-president. So he's been around for a couple of years, and there's some days I forget to include him, and he's an important part of the role I play.
Phil, don't think we forgot about you out there. All right. We've got co-president Jody Heberling of the Christian County Historical Society joining us here today. Thank you for the humility. I love it. That's funny. So your pie auction that will be running at 2:00, and then that apple crisp. I could probably eat myself sick on apple crisp, so I think I'll probably be all right without dinner. I'll probably be pretty dang full on that apple crisp there. So it's free kids day activities, kids activities. Bring them out for the day, 1 to 4 p.m. on April 27th for an Earth Day celebration. Going back to volunteers, needing some board members, needing some help out there. What would you say to folks that are interested in maybe being a part of the Historical Society?
It can be a small commitment of a few hours a year to a monthly commitment of, a day or two a month. It's a great way to make new friends and get involved. If you have a love of history, we have a lot of things that'll suck you in to explore and investigate and take you back in time. We house the Genealogical Society, which gives you the opportunity to explore your roots, especially if they're in Christian County. We have a very active genealogical society that is always willing to help you get started if you want to explore your family tree.
And being able to do that with the help of others, not, there's 23andMe out there. There's all types of other things, but then you're really on your own path and being able to find that for yourself more so. And I feel like that would be a great way to do it. What's the relationship like there with the Genealogical Society and the Historical Society? I have to imagine pretty dang good.
It's very good. We house them, and they have a corner of our building that has their library and stuff in it. And they help out when we have a fundraiser. We help out when they have one. And we just coincide quite well because we do go together. That's the history of you, and we have the history of things. So it makes a nice combination that fits quite well together. And I believe we get along pretty well.
Yeah. Well, maybe Phil out there can help in that regard too. That still is cracking me up for whatever reason. But, the history of you with the Genealogical Society, we'll say the history of us when it comes to the Historical Society. It's a perfect marriage. And so I'm happy to hear that it's all kind of one piece with two separate ideas. So,
correct.
But the same mission. We'll go back to that. So in terms of being a part of the Historical Society, you mentioned the Facebook page, you mentioned a website and phone numbers. Can you give us the details on those?
Just Google Christian County Historical Society and make sure you put Illinois in it because Kentucky's the first one that usually pops up.
Okay.
So, but make sure you got Illinois in the line and you'll find us. Our Facebook page, I think, is just Christian County Historical Society, and it comes up to Illinois, I believe. So okay. Our phone number out there with an answering machine is 217-824-6922. And there's an answer machine that is checked regularly, as well as the emails and stuff off those other two links.
And that is all ways that you can get involved as a volunteer, maybe as a board member, or maybe just find out more information about, say, something like an Earth Day, or say something like a cleanup day that's coming up on April 5th. Jody, anything else before we wrap things up today that you'd like to make sure we talk about?
Just that we need volunteers, and reach out to us. We've got a nice list of board members that you can reach out to any of us, and we'll put our arm around you and welcome you in and try to find. We need to get the younger generations involved. And
let's do so. Jody Heberling, co-president of the Christian County Historical Society, joining us here today on the WTIM Morning Show. Cleanup Day, April 5th, Earth Day, April 27th. Be a part of the Historical Society. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.